Scotland, the weather's gonna change, you know, from morning to afternoon sometime. So today I'm sharing what I wore in Scotland. I knew I was going to put it together somehow, whether in a blog post or something like that for reference, because it is getting searched for quite a bit right now from our trip 6 years ago. So yes, I do have a trip from 6 years ago if you would like to see that. I think I broke it up into 2 videos, but I actually wore a lot of the same things because they just worked so well on that last trip. Even though this was a different kind of trip for us, I thought, you know what, I'll just bring them again. Because like a lot of places like that, layers are the key. So just like when I went to Alaska, it was layers. We went to Scotland the first time a year after Alaska. So I'd kind of done some research and found the weather to be somewhat similar. Not exactly, but a lot of things overlapped as far as, you know, weather changes during the day and from day to day, you know, warm to cold, rainy. So that's why I wore some of the things I did, and I think you'll find these helpful. So whether you're going, you know, Scotland, Ireland, anywhere kind of up there, definitely a rain jacket. This would be my #1 pick. And rain jacket with a hood, because again, you never know when you're going to be caught out in the rain and maybe you don't, you know, want a big umbrella. So a rain jacket was a must-have. This was actually the same rain jacket that I bought right before our trip 6 years ago, and I just love it. So mine is black with some gold on it. I just love it. Goes with all kinds of things. I bought black just because, you know, it's a color that can kind of go with most everything, but most things come, you know, in other colors if you don't want black. So we'll just stick with the outerwear, and this other jacket is brand new. I just love this one. I will put some photos in here of me wearing it. I wanted something a little more elevated than a regular rain jacket. However, this one does have a hood that zips up in the collar. But what I like about this one is the collar kind of stands a little bit different, so it looks nicer. And I wanted something this color. I took this color jacket with me last time, but it was more of just like, you know, a regular cotton canvasy kind of jacket. But this one I wanted in case, you know, I wanted something nicer, maybe going out to dinner. I did bring a dress with me, so if you're wanting to wear like a dress or a skirt, even though it's kind of a casual knit style, I thought, well, if I need a jacket, I don't want to wear my rain jacket because it's longer, and that just totally changes the look of the outfit then. But I thought this I could wear with jeans, pants, I could wear it with the dress or a skirt, and it still looked nice. And I just rolled up the sleeves because they're a tad long on me, and it has pockets. It's like, you know, vented here, so it's a nice weight. I'm gonna go kind of in order. I'm looking at my phone here of pictures so that I can remember what we did to explain why I wore what I did, what you might want to take instead of, or how it worked for me. So first, just travel outfit. This is an older set last year from Loft. I just wore a plain white t-shirt and then some sneakers. I spoke about both of the bags in that previous video, my overnight flight carry-on. So as far as the t-shirts, I brought 2 white t-shirts and 1 gray t-shirt. I actually brought a long sleeve white t-shirt, but I didn't wear it. There was actually only 2 items that I brought that I did not wear. So I did very well in my packing. It helped that we went before. But again, I try to bring things for trips like that I can mix and match, where again, if I need to layer, make a couple of different outfits from, so I didn't want to overpack. So I definitely wore the t-shirts because it was warm. I ended up wearing all 3 t-shirts, so I was definitely glad I brought that extra white short sleeve because I knew it was a great layering piece that I could wear under a sweatshirt, under just a jacket. So this was a little more low-key trip than our last one. Again, I will link that other video below. That one we were literally like traveling all throughout Scotland, making little pit stops for a night or 2 or a day trip. Because we had already been and hit kind of a lot of the highlights, this trip was, the main reason we were going over was go to the Open. So it used to be called the British Open. I feel like I still refer to it as that. So we were going to a golf tournament. That was the main reason. Royal Troon is maybe about an hour away from where some of our family lives there right now. We obviously were staying with them. It made it easy. They were like great travel guides, both this trip and the last one. Said there were a few things that we wanted to do. Some of our friends had stayed years ago at Turnberry, and we had looked it up. They said it was a, you know, great resort. I mean, it's one of the top golf courses in the world. So we thought, you know what, we'd like to see that. It wasn't too far away. So basically where they live, then there's Troon, and then Turnberry's a little farther south. And what made that interesting is we had never traveled south the last time. We went north and up and around over to Edinburgh and back over. So that was nice. And it was a gorgeous property. It was a little overcast that day, so you probably didn't get quite the great views, but it was beautiful. We went all throughout the hotel. The staff was very nice. We did eat lunch there. We weren't sure if we were gonna have like high tea in the main part of the hotel, but we decided to go over to the golf club across the street and have lunch there, and because they have a great menu, and that way we knew we wanted to go in the pro shop. That's something my husband and I do. If he's not actually playing golf when we're on vacation, we love to just go and look at the courses if we can, or the pro shops. You know, I don't know, I appreciate a really nice golf course. I don't play, but I like to be caddy and ride around the cart sometimes, help him out when I can. I do have golf clubs, just have never bothered to take a lesson yet. So anyway, I wore this knit tank dress. This is actually a dress, but I wore it like as a skirt. So you could bring another midi type skirt, or even like a satin midi to get this look. And then this striped sweater. This is actually a cashmere, but it's thin, so it's a nice weight, and I love the stripes. I knew I could wear this multiple ways with different outfits. And I just took a plain black crossbody bag. I only took 2 bags with me just to kind of switch it up. But this is my Louis Vuitton. It's leather, has a couple pieces with it so I can dress it up or down. So that's the main bag I used. And then my Puma sneakers. So these were such a hit last year in Europe. I literally walked all over Europe in them. They were great. I knew this was definitely going to be one of my casual shoes for when it wasn't raining. That's something to keep in mind. I definitely didn't want to get these, you know, messed up if it was raining, so I had a couple of different options of shoes, but I knew these were going to be comfortable and I could pair them with things, definitely, like I said, on those days that it wasn't raining. So because I knew we were going to a nice resort and having lunch and walking around, that's why I chose to wear this, and I didn't know what the weather would be throughout the week, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this and wear it while I can, and it was perfect. Perfect weather. It did get a little more breezy when we walked up to the lighthouse later, so it's on property too. The lighthouse was beautiful. It just gotten a fresh coat of paint in May, so a couple months ago. The views are just spectacular from the hotel, looking out over on the water and the golf course. And the golf course actually runs through the little road up to the lighthouse. So we saw, you know, lots of golfers coming through, and it's about like a half mile, I think, walk up to the lighthouse, but totally worth it. So as we were walking out, I told this story on Instagram, but there was like a golf cart there and a couple of people were standing there. And so I told my husband and his brother, I'm like, oh, stand right there, I'll get a picture of you guys. Well, my sister-in-law hears somebody, you know, in the background saying something about getting a picture with someone and good luck next week. So, you know, you hear that, you know, oh, they're going to play in the Open. So to my surprise, when he turned around, it was Scotty Scheffler. So it was like, oh my God, you know, that wouldn't have been who I would have guessed. I don't know who I would have thought, but him and Sam Burns were there with their caddies. They played a round of golf, so that was cute. I snapped a couple quick pics of them, so that was definitely a highlight of the day too, was seeing them. So it was actually very warm the first few days we were there. So I think one day it was about 70, 72, and if you've ever been to Scotland or Alaska or anywhere like that and the sun's out and it's around 70, it actually feels much warmer. It feels more like 75, 80. I brought 1 pair of shorts. I think my husband brought 1 pair. I did, because I thought if for some reason the day we go to the tournament is hot, I want to have an option. So I brought these little, this is like a golf skirt, and it was perfect because it has built-in shorts, or you could just bring 1 regular pair of casual shorts. Definitely if you're hiking, doing things like that. We saw so many people hiking on this one day, and they all had on shorts and hiking boots because, again, it was warmer. So we actually lucked out with the weather. We only had, I think, 1 day, and that was our tournament day. That was bad weather, so to speak. So again, you just never know when you're going to Scotland, so just, you got to be prepared for everything. So I was so glad I had these, because us sitting out back, they have like a super cute backyard. That's where this picture I just took And we all sat outside and enjoyed the sunshine because you definitely want to take advantage of it when you have it. It was just such a beautiful day. Both the guys went to play golf. We were all gonna go have lunch afterwards, just downtown by the waterfront. They live in Helensburgh. So I just put on a pair of jeans, which I ended up wearing twice, in this jacket and a t-shirt. Because again, it was sunny, nice. I knew I could take the jacket off, tie it around my waist, but you never know, especially going down towards the water, maybe a little cooler. And then I put on my Puma sneakers again. So definitely getting good use out of these. Just total casual outfit. So then after that, we took a trip, drove up through the Highlands, which was so great because it was sunny this time. Last time we drove through the Highlands, it was rainy and you just didn't get to see that beauty. You definitely need the sun shining to get the full just vastness and, you know, the green and all that in the Highlands. So we had a great day with the weather. So drove up through the Highlands, stopped, took a couple pictures along the way. We were actually going to Fort William. I had never been there. And it's actually a very popular area. I mean, obviously the Highlands are popular anyway, but that's a popular area people hike. I decided again, wear something casual. I brought the jacket with me, the tan jacket, but I didn't end up wearing it. I had this lightweight sweater. This is one of the sweaters that I actually brought with me on our last trip and wore it, so it worked out great. I have a couple of these. They're from J. Crew. They're a really lightweight sweater, nice for layering in the summer. I did bring a cami with me, like a nude color cami that I wore under this, and then the jeans again. Switched out the purse just for something different and more neutral colors to my little Gucci bag. I've shown that before. It comes in handy. I knew I could wear that to the golf course if needed because of the size. They don't have the size limits that we do here, but it just says small bag and you go through the metal detector and all that. You know, here in the US, we have specific sizes for the bags when you're going to an event. So anyway, just wore the sweater, the jeans, it was perfect, nice and sunny. So for the shoes, I wore these neutral color loafers, and I wanted to take something like this again for depending on where you might be going to dinner, have something nice. I didn't want to just all have like rugged, weatherproof, waterproof things with me because again, you just never know what you might end up doing. And if it's a nice sunny day, I don't want to be stuck in some rain boots and stuff like that. So these were some neutral colored loafers. These are actually by Born. They don't make these exact ones anymore, but I'll link something similar. The key to these is a rubber sole. So anything a rubber sole, loafer or casual shoe, that's what I would bring for your casual days or wearing to dinner in the evening, maybe out sightseeing, just in town, strolling around shopping, so that again, you have that other option. And I'm a firm believer in not wearing the same pair of shoe 2 days in a row. I try not to. Sometimes with those Pumas, I can totally get away with it because I'll wear socks and not socks. Always on vacation, I wear socks just to not get any rub marks or blisters. But that's kind of how I keep things in rotation so my feet don't bother me. Last trip, I think my casual pair of shoes, that was when I was into my hot pink loafers. So I wore those out to dinner. I had switched into them after traveling one day, like wearing my rain boots. They're actually my duck boots. I didn't want to bring those this time, so I didn't, but I'll show you what I brought instead. So those were great as my casual pair of shoe with a pop of color. This time I was keeping it neutral. Okay, so the next day then was going to the tournament, and I already knew this was the first outfit I planned out. So this outfit would work for you for all kind of things in Scotland. If it's just your day exploring or hiking or whatever, this would work. Of course, I had my rain jacket. I layered up because it was a little cooler that day, and this picture, it looks nice and kind of sunny here because this was later in the day as the weather got nicer. But when we first got there, it was spitting rain. It was windy. The winds, I think some gusts were like 20 miles an hour. It wasn't pouring rain, thankfully, but it was definitely chilly. At one point, literally, I almost thought, oh my God, I need gloves, you know, but then if the sun comes out, and later it did, and we're sitting in the stands watching them, you know, on the driving range, and it was nice and calm and it was great. I wish it would have been that way the whole time, but that's why I wore a hat, because I knew if it was spitting rain or something, I didn't feel like putting my hood up, I at least had a hat to kind of protect my head a little bit. So this hat is actually from our friends that went to the Open in Liverpool last year. I love it so much that I bought a white one this year at the tournament. So it's a great hat, lightweight. So actually I have on several layers here. I have on a white t-shirt base layer. Then I have on kind of an off-white V-neck lightweight sweater. This is the sweater I always talk about from the Nordstrom anniversary sale. I bought this many years ago. It's probably one of my most worn sweaters, and definitely I travel with it in the summer, throw it over my shoulders. It's a great layering piece. I bought the gray this year. And then I have these joggers. Now these joggers aren't available anymore, but they were from Talbot's, I think, earlier in the year. And you might have seen them on our trip to the Greenbrier that I shared on Instagram. Cute, just have a white waistband, a little bit of white zip detail at the ankle, but you could wear any jogger. So the pair of sneakers that I brought that I knew I could go on walks, if we were going on little hikes that, you know, weren't real strenuous or anything, but, you know, didn't want your feet wet, all that. I brought these sneakers, and these are new to me, and they were so comfortable. I absolutely loved them. I wanted a new pair of black. I had my Echoes that I brought with me on the last trip. Those were good, but I just wanted something a little different since I knew we were gonna be walking in that tall grass at the tournament. I wanted something a little more substantial on my feet. And what is great with these is, you can't there, maybe you can see them. They have all these nubs on the bottom, so they are perfect for traction and all that. They were super comfortable. They kind of remind me a little bit of a New Balance style, how they are on the back. I shared these on Instagram too. They do come in a couple of different colors, but they're just a slip-on. And even though they're knit, they're like a thicker knit. So I wasn't worried with socks on about my feet getting like totally soaked or anything. It was more comfort. And then I wore these, like I said, on some walk. I think I didn't get a picture, but that day we went on a walk. I wore my Zella joggers, and I took like a lightweight gray sweatshirt, which that's what I wore on the way home on the airplane too. So I think this was our next to the last day. We went to Loch Lomond, and we had been there before. It's actually not very far from where my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live, maybe like 2 to 3 miles. So it's an awesome little place too to visit. Again, we went there last time, but this time we did a little boat trip. And so that was fun. It's like about a 90-minute, you go out on this little boat and they tell you about different things about Loch Lomond and the history of it and all that. And it was actually really neat. I think we all really enjoyed it. So at first I didn't know, you know, if it's one of those you're going to be out on deck or inside, because there is limited seating inside. We happen to sit inside, but you can sit outside too. So I thought, well, let me dress again in layers. So I just wore these casual tan pants. I had shown these, I think, back in the spring. They're from Banana Republic. Decided to wear my Pumas again that day because it wasn't raining and they're comfortable. Did bring a scarf with me, but I didn't end up needing it. Of course, the tan jacket, which is perfect, and then a black sweater just like that tan one. It's super thin. So this was great. It actually got kind of warm inside the boat at one point because the sun came out. It was nice. So that was a beautiful day just walking along there. Like, we had grabbed a little sandwich before we went. I grabbed a couple of little souvenirs. This picture is like a cute row of little houses. I guess they film a TV show UK from here. So I want to talk about some boots that I brought with me, but I didn't end up wearing. But it was one of those I just knew. I contemplated not bringing them, but I thought, you know what? Watch me need something like that. And the weather's just raining every day. And you know, some of the shoes, they're perfect, but yet you don't want to get them messed up. That's why I had a dilemma with shoes. Like, oh, these are perfect. They're comfortable. They go with this, but you know, I don't want them messed up if it's like raining. So that was kind of why I brought the shoes I did. So I brought these little boots, and I thought these are going to be because they're water resistant. These are going to be my boots. Like, if it's just pouring down rain, they'll go with jeans. I can even wear them with my joggers or pants if I have to. I kind of tried them on with everything. They have a rubber sole. This is what I brought instead of my duck boots. So last time, you remember, I brought my duck boots, and I brought those because I had just worn them the year before to Alaska, and they were perfect. Perfect if it's raining, if it's cold. You know, the rubber sole, like, they go up a little bit on your ankle so you have some support. And I wore those several times on our last trip. So that just gives you another kind of choice and idea. If you are going to actually be like doing some major hikes, I would bring an actual pair of hiking boots. Whether you want higher up on the ankle or short ones, that's going to be up to you and what you're doing. But that's what I would do as far as your like weatherproof, waterproof shoe. I just knew I have one pair from years ago. I didn't want to bring those because they really didn't go with any of my outfits, and we weren't doing anything like that. I knew if we did do some hiking, it was going to kind of be low-key So I didn't bring those, but that is something you would want to bring. I mentioned a sweatshirt. So basically base layers is like a tank top or a cami, some couple of t-shirts for base layers or to wear on their own if it gets warm, a lightweight sweatshirt. I brought 2 jackets. I brought 2 pair of pants, meaning a pair of jeans and a casual pair of pants that I knew I could dress up or not. I bought a dress or a skirt. And then I brought, I think like 4 sweaters. They were lightweight and I wore them all. I did bring a button down J. Crew denim shirt that I wore both in Alaska and the last time I went to Scotland as a layering piece. However, I didn't end up wearing that. So those were literally the only 2 things I didn't wear, that long sleeve t-shirt and the denim shirt. And that just may be because we had better weather this time. But those lightweight sweaters were perfection. I did bring a pair of joggers. So those were more casual. I knew that could be my airplane outfit and just casual walking around. I will link everything I spoke about in the description below. Most things, if they're old, I will link something similar. I'm also putting together a blog post so that all these things can kind of live there and I can update the links more easily as people want to search for what to wear to give them some ideas. Again, I'll put the previous video in here too if you're just curious to see what I wore and what we did. So that takes you more places of where we went, what we did. This was the same thing, but it was totally different spots except for Loch Lomond. So I hope you found this helpful or at least interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.